What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Better Mark. Let's kick off this Monday with today's NBA picks, predictions, and analysis. I'm going to get into my three plays for this evening's contest. And yes, the NBA doesn't sleep. Got that Super Bowl hangover. Hopefully, you guys were all able to take off work or get back in the grind and get back into it. All right, but let's talk about it, guys, because we have a huge slate within the association, and it's one that doesn't sleep, guys. So make sure you guys all subscribe down below. Smash that like button as well, and let's talk about it, okay? First, we're going to get into the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? The hottest team, guys, the absolute hottest team we got going on right now in the NBA. If you guys were able to watch a couple of my videos in the past, we talked about the Cavs getting into the 1 seed within the Eastern Conference, all right? There's some extreme value, over 30-1 we were able to scoop up on that wager. Okay, so let's root for it. I know you guys, if you guys are out there, Celtics fans, Sixers fans, apologies for all that, even Bucks fans out there, but I really think the Cavs have an opportunity to surge right now at 1 seed. But we look at today's game, guys. I'm going to be laying it with the Cavs. I'm going to be betting this until it's more of a systems play for me. I've been taking the Cavs to cover the spread. It's been a long stretch where they've basically done that. So we're going to keep it going. We're going to take that -9.5. I think we might even be able to see this drop to -9. There's a little bit of money coming on the 76ers, but I do think at home, doing the Cavs justice, okay? I think that's something where we see they're a better home team. We see this number. Look for the Cavs to win by double digits in tonight's game, okay? Indiana-Charlotte, not too interested in that one. Charlotte, obviously, guys, is a walking dumpster fire. Their roster is in serious dismay. But when we talk about Indiana, Halliburton, as minutes restriction has been lifted. So that's why the numbers crept a little bit. That's why we're seeing 11 in the market. That's just one that's too big for me, guys. I'm going to stay away from that one. Although if I did have to give you guys a lean in this contest, it would be on the Pacers, okay? A lot of points. I do not know if Charlotte can keep up and score in that big of a contest. So, and then we're going to get into Atlanta, Chicago. This number seems to be about right, guys. They did not move Dejounte Murray. They've been scoring points in absolute bunches, okay? And Atlanta is kind of that team, guys, that plays zero defense, but they can score in groves, all right? Chicago, on the other hand, looks to establish a little bit of a pace, a little bit of a tempo. And getting 3.5 on the road, that's a very interesting number in that contest. You pretty much have to look at this one with the amount of points being scored in this. Which team do you think is going to score more? So my lean would be with Atlanta. 3.5, though, is a big ask. I'd like to be playing it upwards of 3, but 3.5, you just really have that back door open down in crunch time, okay? San Antonio, Toronto, no real play in this one, guys, either. San Antonio is a very hard team to get put your finger down on, but I do think and believe that there will be something to the likes of a Super Bowl hangover, all right? I know these guys are all professional athletes. I know that everybody's used to, some of the road schedules, some of the back-to-back, some of the going out, the nightlife, what have you. But within the Super Bowl Monday, I'm sure you can't really find any data to support it, but this is a spot where I look to possibly take some of these bigger numbers, take some of these underdogs, right? You might catch a little bit of a chalky sleeper, right? Sleeping on a Super Bowl hangover. That is something where you could look at that as well. But within San Antonio and Toronto, the only lean I really have in this contest is Wemby. If you've been playing that, I've been playing that system with blocks and steals over 3.5. It's starting to adjust in the market. I think it's about closer to even money than it's ever been. All right. And he hasn't hit it in his last one. So that's kind of how I look at it. He's due to hit that. But obviously, if you're looking for a little bit more analysis than just he's due, that's pretty much all I got going in that game. All right. New York, Houston, still waiting for Randall. Houston, at home. The Knicks, this is a team where they're streaky, right? They can ball. They can ball with DiVincenzo. What we've seen with, going down with Jalen Brunson. Very much a dark horse MVP candidate. And this is one that I could entertain. I would lean taking the New York Knicks -4.5. Obviously, guys, check the injury report because if you remember that Dallas Knicks game, Jalen Brunson did sit out that game with what we saw a late scratch in that contest, and Dallas obviously ran away with that game, and it was never really in question. But the Rockets, they got a little bit of a injury report themselves. We're also seeing the Knicks. This is a pretty much banged up. A lot of people are questionable on both sides, so I'm going to be laying off of it. But if I had to play If Brunson's playing, I'm going to be laying it with the Knicks, okay? And then we're going to get into my second official play, guys. And this kind of stems off of this Super Bowl hangover. I'm going to be taking the Denver Nuggets on the road -1. Okay, Milwaukee, we all know what's happening with Doc Rivers taking over that club. Giannis is going. He's going to be Giannis, and we're going to see a little bit of an injury report on both sides of the ball. But within Milwaukee, this is where there's always a potential. We're seeing Damian Lillard as well as Giannis popping up on that report. So early on, I'm going to be taking the -1 for the Denver Nuggets, just in case this line moves, right? Foreshadowing to what's to come in the next NBA Finals. Time will tell. But when we see Denver traveling to Milwaukee, Denver's always a different beast on the road, especially when that West goes east within leaving altitude, right? But I'm going to go with Jokic. It just seems to be more focused of a player. I think Denver will be more focused in this game, and I think this is where we really could sneak one by Milwaukee on the road. So Denver, second play, -1, lock it in, all right? And then we're going to get into New Orleans, Memphis. That's another team, banged up Memphis Grizzlies. One I'm going to be laying off, especially with New Orleans, the Jekyll and Hyde of the NBA. They can win any game by 20, lose any game by 20. Not one that I'm going to have interest in within this huge number, +9. With the Mardi Gras festivities happening, New Orleans being on the road is probably the best thing for both teams out there. So it would not be surprising to see Memphis kind of backdoor their way into a cover here against the Pelicans at home. Just kind of where I'm at on that one. And then we're going to get into two of the of the more interesting games, but first let's get into the Washington-Dallas number. Okay, this is where you look at Dallas -14.5, a huge number at home, right? Washington, that's just one of those ones, guys. You look at what they've done; they are a struggling ball club. In Dallas, what we've seen with Luka Doncic is absolutely phenomenal. The game he had against the Knicks was probably one of the best performances within the NBA that we've seen, fourth quarter-wise at least, in a long time. But I'm not interested in laying 14.5, really, in a lot of NBA contests. So sometimes when I get these big numbers, guys, unless you got a real strong inclination on what's going on with the underdog in these situations, I just firmly cross off pretty much these 14, 15, and beyond when we look at these point spreads in the NBA. So I won't be playing that game. And then these last two guys, these are probably two of the most interesting matchups, right? We look at Minnesota at the Clippers as well as Golden State at Utah. Minnesota Clippers, that number seems about right. I don't find any value on either side of taking that. Obviously, guys, Clippers, outstanding ball club. Minnesota is a sneaky, one of the most underrated teams in the NBA, especially from a metric standpoint. The statistics are there. Then Clippers, from an efficiency standpoint, they have been the most sound, hottest teams probably in the West, the western side of the NBA. On the season. Kind of surprised a lot of people. Locked in a futures NBA Finals bet within the Clippers with some extreme value. I think it was over 6-1 at the time I got it. Good luck finding that now. But this is where we're looking at a no play. If I had a lean, I would be taking the Clippers at home, but I would not really count anybody out. Or tell you guys that it is a bad opportunity to take Minnesota with the 4.5. Okay, so kind of just a lean in not really having a side on that contest. Okay, and then lastly, this will be my third and final play, official play locked in. Right, we're going to be taking the Utah Jazz +1 at home. I think this is another piggyback play off of my Super Bowl hangover. Kind of this little theory I'm going to play with for tonight's contest. I think Golden State, potentially on the road, going to Utah. I know how these guys, the camaraderie. I know that they're professionals, they're vets, they're all been through the wire. Utah, not so much, but Golden State on the road, another different animal. Steph Curry is absolutely on fire, lighting it up from threes. Something where he's been doing it for so long and so traditionally that we've become accustomed to his greatness. And it's something where we look into Steph Curry really, really going unnoticed, right? We saw the game against Phoenix that we had over the weekend. Game-winning three, bang. I really don't know how you can commit to that inbounds play where you have Steph just step up and have a lane where he gets a clear look at the basket. I don't care how deep he is. You can't do that in that situation. So unfortunately, that was one of those plays, just to recap, that we weren't able to cover the Phoenix Suns -1.5 due to that three-pointer. But guys, it's just sports betting. I'd rather root for some very, very strong contests where we look at just having actual success on the court more times than not, because that's just true greatness that you can't overstate. So that'll be my third and final play. I think that we're going to see a little Super Bowl hangover, possibly a little bit too much partying on Golden State's end. I think Utah comes out and taking this +1 at home. I think they get the job done in this contest. So those are my 3 plays, guys. As always, guys, not financial advice. Just do your own research. Nobody has a crystal ball when it comes to sports betting or anything within financial talk. But let's get it going, guys. Let's get back on the wagon. Sports betting never sleeps, right? Super Bowl's over. The NFL season's over. It was an outstanding run, but we are back. We're going to have NBA. We're going to have golf. We're going to have hockey. All things firing up. Baseball. Pitchers and catchers are reporting. Very exciting time as we get into the future of what's going to happen in 2024. Make sure you guys all subscribe down below, though, on your way out. Join the team here at the Better Mark. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.